Hi there, my name is Haley Gordon, and the article that I chose to discuss for this assignment today is called "The Population is Aging in America. Half of Idahoans now are older than 37. It was written by Tim Henderson, who is an older adult himself, and was published on July 6th of 2023. And so to kind of go over some of the talking points that Tim Henderson wrote about in this article is he was essentially talking about how the median age is rising in every single state last year in the US. Out of those, 17 states' median ages rose over 40 in 2022, which is a lot more because an article talks about how it's definitely a lot younger. Typically towards like 26 and 25, those were kind of the median ages around the early 2000s, so it's just begun to increase a lot more recently. And the Census Bureau estimates that half of the older residents are older than the younger half. So they're essentially saying that's kind of evening out, with the older generation being 50-50 to the younger generation, which may not seem like a super crazy thing, but in class we've definitely learned about how it used to be a lot more that the younger population was overpowering the older population, where now it's starting to even out, according to this article anyway. And so this is also starting to create new challenges for future health and housing and for state services to make sure that they can still compensate for these older people and get them the benefits they need to still be able to live the life that they've kind of deserved and earned. And so how this relates to class is this is kind of one of the first things we talked about. As of 2000, more people over 60 than below 5. So we kind of talked about in class how we were seeing that there was more older people than younger people. And then this is estimated to double by the year 2050. The older generation will be larger than the under the age of 15 population. And then this number of people aged 80 and older will quadruple in this period as well. So it's definitely estimated that by the year 2050, we'll definitely be having a lot more older people than younger people. So what does this kind of mean for us as students and potentially as the professors of this class? It kind of means that, like the article was talking about, the article didn't go too into depth about it, about the issues I was going to create. It kind of just went into depth about how each state was being, like how each state had its ages rising and what that looked like in each individual state. But kind of to discuss further from the article is like the kind of things that we need to think about now to be able to compensate for these older people and still make sure that they can live a healthy and fruitful life when they're older. And that kind of means assisted living homes. Of course, not every senior person needs to have an assisted living home. We do definitely know that a lot of them can still be able to live out their life in their home and still be able to take care of themselves to their older age. But there's definitely some that might not have next of kin or somebody else to help take care of them or be able to maintain their life on their own. So that kind of means the idea of trying to build more assisted living homes and maybe putting more of a priority on those assisted care workers where they're not as appreciated in today's world, I feel like. And then also we kind of got to think about how they are able to function in public. You know, we definitely live in a society where you need to run errands to be able to get things. You know, they need to run to the bank to be able to make sure they're paying their bills and to deposit their funds, to manage their retirement accounts and whatnot. And they also need to be able to go to the store, so they need to be able to have those parking spots so that way they don't have to walk as far to get to the door. And also when they're using the restrooms, making sure we have more restrooms able for people that might be, you know, handicapped and might need to be using wheelchairs or crutches or the little scooters kind of a thing, to make sure they still have enough space and like handbars to be able to get themselves on and off the toilet. And then also, you know, making sure those people that might not be able to drive, how are they going to be able to get from point A to point B if they're not able to have a license and be able to safely drive on the road? Maybe being able to make like a mobile system so that these older people can still get to the places they need to. And just some of those things to consider as the population is getting older. Kind of think about those now, so that way those are already in place and already implemented by the time we get to the year 2050, so that way those older people are able to still, you know, live in the world that they've helped build up so well and be able to provide for them and help them throughout what they're going through, kind of a thing. So that's kind of what I decided to discuss, and I hope you liked it. Thank you.